It's the weekend, it's Mailbag, and that was a very, very quiet countdown because I am joined tonight, unlike the advertised tweet, just by Ian and Liam. It's a terrific trio, so don't be disappointed that Dale's dog and maybe Ed could have made it, but no one could, unfortunately. We are recording this on a Thursday night, so that might have something to do with it. It's nearly the weekend anyway. On this week's show, we got Monday Night Football, cartoon characters, landmarks, pubs, managers, bit of red hot soccer chat, outrageous Twitter posts, going to Piss Hill, all sorts of things coming up now. So as I said, I am joined by Ian and Liam, and we will kick off with a bit of red hot soccer chat from Mike. Nailed on 4 centre-backs across the back 4 on Saturday, isn't it? Liam?
I mean, it is, but given the issues with number 16, I'm now in the school of thought, like people like Callum Gamble, where they don't even say his name, they just say 16. Given what we're seeing from him right now, Branthwaite at left back is not really much of an issue with me. I think it's a bit tight on Pato, but Mykolenko is actually getting to the point now where I think the left back is probably a bigger problem than the right back.
It's getting there, isn't it? It really is. Ian, are you looking forward to a sort of running back of the Walter Smith days?
I can't wait. I honestly can't wait. I agree with Liam about Mykolenko. This has got to be his worst spell as an Everton player. And I've spoken about it with the lads and lasses on the in the North East group, saying Branthwaite will be a much better left back, 100%. He can get up and down the pitch. Just Mykolenko on Monday night, he just had nothing. His passing was a disgrace. You know, he tried getting forward, and he's not for me. I mean,
sorry, go ahead,
mate. We've seen what he's done in the past. He can defend. He is a defender, but he's no good at going forward.
Yeah, I saw someone tweet last week, I think it was, that everyone's cracked the Mykolenko code because they're marking Saka out of the game. And that's probably his best thing, isn't it, Liam? He's like, on games like that, like against Arsenal, maybe against Saka, especially against Salah, he will generally have a good game when he's got to mark a shit up winger, and that's it.
Yeah,
but even that part of his game, sort of like, it's dropping off. He's not even defending well now.
No, I don't think he is. I mean, I've noticed it more because, you know, where I used to sit in the park end, I was basically behind the right back. Now in the south stand, I'm behind the left back. So I feel like I've noticed it even more this season. I might have jokingly said when he got clattered by that Anton Stack, I hope that's serious. I was only 7 joking. When he went down.
I hope it's nothing trivial.
No, yeah. Just a little season ender. Not a career ender, just a season and contract ender. No, that is obviously tongue in cheek. Never wish for our players to be injured, but I just feel like he is offering us nothing. And I get that point about he's great when he plays Saka or Salah, but it feels like it's because he becomes so one-track minded. He's just got to. And think about it. The common issue with them two is they're both brilliant footballers, but they both want to cut in. And he's like, I've just got to stop them getting on the left foot.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only thing he has to think about all day. Saka can go around the outside a little bit, but you know, that's what they both want to do. So I think he can do that. But as you say, I mean, recently there's been times where Jack Grealish is having to be double in for him because he's not even, like you say, he's not defending particularly well. And you know, he doesn't deserve blame for everything because obviously, you know, he's been at Everton through a very tough time. But the problem now is the team starting to, in the main, kick on, and he's clearly. He was struggling to get into. He was poor, in a team that's fighting relegation, a team that's aspirational. He's not going to make that step up.
Yeah.
Do you think Dyche plays a big part in this? He's basically just sort of you defend and don't go over that halfway line. And you think he's got that like a mental thing where you think, oh, hold on, do I actually go over there or?
For me, I think if Dyche played a big part in it, he probably played a big part in him having his best form for that reason.
For defending, yeah.
You're just a defender. Now, I've said this a few times. It's like it's fine to be that kind of fullback if you've got a shit up winger in front of you. Now, as good as Jack Grealish is, he's not fast, so you haven't got that luxury. You need your fullback to like do some work for you, and he's not had that, and it's been quite glaring, hasn't it? I think his drop off this season has been pretty alarming to the point where the fact that if Branthwaite is back, you could see us playing four centre backs at the back. I mean,
over there, like the pitch being a bit bigger. I know how much bigger it is, but do you think that's changed the setting because he feels like he's got to be more expansive and he can't do it?
I think it's probably more to what you said, the fact that the team's progressing, it's got better footballers in it now, essentially. So he's got to be a better footballer. The thing that's always freaked me out is the fact that he's never looked left-footed to me. The amount of times he cuts inside to play a pass with his right foot is dead weird for a left-back. He's
might be like Gael Clichy, though. Remember Gael Clichy? I know Morton Gams Pedersen did this as well, but if you read up on both of them, they're both naturally right-footed, but they trained themselves when they were kids to use the left foot more. And it's weird. Mikalenko reminds me only in this aspect. I would like to add of double title winner Gael Clichy. He reminds me. Triple title. He won one with Arsenal and 2 with City. But the one thing he reminds me of Clichy is, as you say, he doesn't. Even though he prefers his left foot, I think that is he's been working on it. But he is naturally right footed, but weirdly can't use it because he's overcompensated.
Would you trust him more centre half?
No, he's too weak.
Yeah. I don't know. He possibly could do that. And actually, do you know what? Speaking of that was the most frustrating. Well, not the most frustrating, but a frustrating thing about the Leeds game was the fact that Moyes had the perfect chance to take him off and try Asnu on the left when he had 3 centre backs in, and he didn't. That was really, really frustrating. And the thing is, with this season, I do now think we should just, do you know what? Forget about any league aspirations. If we qualify for Europe, we qualify for Europe. It will be a bit of an anomaly just because of the way the league is, because we're not good enough, I don't think. So this season, it should just be about trying different players in different positions. I think as bad as it is getting beat, I think if we could see there was some sort of plan there to start these players and see what Diblin's got, see what Asnu's got, if we could see some sort of plan building towards next season, it'd make it a little bit more palatable. But as it is, we're playing McNeil, we're playing Mikalenko, we're still not getting wins. It just makes it harder to bear, doesn't it, really?
Do you know what pissed me off more on Monday night was how half-arsed Diblin looked. Get your hands out of your shirt and just look alive. Actually want the ball, beat the player. I mean, for me, I know you and Dave were talking about it on, or was it Matt and Paddy? Sorry. Yeah, it was Matt and Paddy on the byline.
I thought you said Max and Paddy then, I was going to say.
We're going to have to start calling them that, by the way.
Diblin is on a road to Wesley, so but he's got to shoot there from me. It might be a tight angle, but he's got to have a goal. He's got to at least work the goalkeeper, go across the goalkeeper, keep him push it out to somebody there.
That was confidence, though, wasn't it? Because I actually think I get what you're saying, but I'm right by it in South Stand, and there was a little element to me. I had sympathy in that he was trying to do the right thing, and that he wanted to play it to someone who he thought would score because he felt the pressure of the situation, and because he's not. And you're talking about him having his hands in there. I get that, but I think that body language is indicative of lack of confidence. Because I think if he's a player who's playing regularly, and by the way, Les, as you and I spoke, I thought he was terrible against Sunderland. His attitude stunk, but I thought you could see bits of what he's got about him on Monday night. And I just think you're right. He should have shot, but I genuinely think he was trying to be a team player rather than going for the hero shot, which he was trying to square it to Barry, who basically had the goal as mercy. I mean, although he's in good form, that still would be you wouldn't back him 100%, would you?
Just when you think how well he played against Forest and Burnley, and you think, you know, build on that sort of thing.
Still 19 though, and he's going to have ups and downs.
Yeah. It is the confidence. I think with a winger though, you just want to see them try stuff in the right areas, don't you? So when they're up the pitch, when they're sort of by the opposition box, you want to see them just try something. Because he did try a couple of things, and if he lost it, no one was really that arsed because he tried something.
I thought it was all right.
Yeah,
and a little thing
Go ahead.
It's one thing I just wanted to pick up on because it's just to me, I'm so sorry, but the one thing about that one where he should have shot, he did something that Dwight McNeil never did. Well, could never do. He crossed it with his right foot.
Right foot, yeah.
I was fuming with Dwight McNeil, fuming. I nearly shouted at you, Les. What was that?
God.
That was embarrassing. He should never wear an Everton shirt again for me for that.
Do you know what? Dwight McNeil's performance, to me, it was very much on a par with Tyler Diblin's performance against Sunderland. They were doing the same thing. They were both hiding behind the opposition players. They weren't making the runs they were meant to. They were hiding, and they were both bottling out. Tyler Diblin is a young lad. He's not had much game time. You can't really forgive it, but you can maybe understand it if there's a lack of confidence. Dwight McNeil, it's unforgivable, and you can't understand it because he's played hundreds of games more than 100 games in the Premier League. He's 24, 25 now. He can't be doing that. Just the last thing on that, by the way, with Diblin, I am all for a winger tucking his sleeves in and rolling his socks down. You've got to be good.
Chris Waddle. Chris Waddle.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
main man who did that.
Yeah.
If you're as good as Chris Waddle, fair enough. But if not,
One last point
turns
for
out-
Les on. Go on.
Right.
Sorry, like, one last thing on McNeil. I'm so sorry. You were saying what it reminded me of was Costanza, where he's trying to get fired, which I know you love, so I just thought I'd bring that up. Like, McNeil is just trying to get out the club.
McNeil gets sold, and the next day he turns up with Finch Farm like nothing's ever happened.
Yeah. We'll start selling these old players next, won't he?
Right, it's from the left flank to the right flank for more red hot soccer chat from Rob. Now, Monday night, if we end up, as is likely, signing no one, do we win another game at home? Will we ever sign another right back? It's looking less and less likely that we're going to sign anyone. I would be amazed if we sign anyone even on loan. Ian, what do you make of this? It's like I said before, we're still in contention for European places and good European places, not just the Conference League, actual Champions League potentially. We're still not too far off that. It's a bit of a pipe dream because we're not, like I said, we're not good enough. But do you feel the club should now be just making a bit of a shit or bust push now to say, do you know what, let's do a bit and see if we can get it?
We need to come out, Moyes to come out, or the Freakins come out and say, look, we are going to do this in this. I mean, we've got 4 days left now of the transfer window. We should have done this a couple of weeks ago. We need somebody to come out and say, right, we are going to bring certain players in, whether it be right, left, striker, or right, we're just going to leave it as Patterson's there, Mikalenko's there, or even if we're going to play Branthwaite. But like you say, there's a massive chance of getting European football. That's going to bring more money into the club. It's going to attract players in the summer to come and play for a team that's playing in Europe. So for me, I would just say, right, we're going to bring somebody in, whether it be right or left back, and go for it. 100%.
Liam, on that, do you think the owners actually want European football at this point? Given that Moyes has got a year left on his contract, and if they get European football, it probably puts them in a bit of a position to renew his contract and give him more time. Do you think, because the sort of status the club's in at the minute, where Moyes is brought in to settle things down, and he has done, and he's got us as a competent football team, they just want to kind of finish as a competent football team until they can look at someone else to get into to move us forward?
I don't actually know. I think that, and the reason for that is what's gone before at Roma. Daniele De Rossi is basically like second to Totti in there, adored by the Roma fans, and they pulled it in with absolutely any compunction. So I think they'll want it because ultimately they, we were advertising about crypto tokens today. We charge £6.50 for toffee donuts. And the problem is, you want the progression, you have to kind of sell your soul, but they are business people, and it might be, it mightn't be much, but you think about it, if we get Europa League, they'll charge 40 quid a ticket because people will pay that to see us in Europe after the best part of a decade out. People will pay it, they will fill, and they will sell, and they will generate more cash. So I don't think that, but I also, what I am wary of, and Joe Thomas, who's so eloquent, makes brilliant points on the Echoes podcast about, is if we want a right back, we need to sign one who's going to be our right back for the next 5 years. We don't just have to sign someone who's just like a stopgap, because we've had too much of that. And let's see what came to my mind. It's a different position. Remember, you can deny that you were, but we were all excited when Dele Alli signed in January 2022. Make no mistake, everyone's like, get back in it. We're going to kick away, kick on and push away from the relegation zone. When you make those sorts of signings, they can backfire you. And I do agree. I still think we need to do business in Aston Villa for the second January row. Asensio and Rashford worked last year, and I think Douglas Luiz and Abraham, for where they're at now, really smart signs. I think he can do good business in January, but we just need to be careful it's the right business. I want us to sign players, but I was amazed at John Wharton. He's really smart. The penny only dropped with him tonight that we're not going to sign anyone. A little while back for me. Smart as much as I like him. I was surprised he said that.
On that though, on the Freakins, then, do you not think they just want Everton ticking over at the minute? Roma are the going concern at the minute, and they just want Everton ticking over until he can sort of put their attention on them. Basically, that's kind of what it feels like to me. We're definitely second fiddle.
Oh, yeah.
We're only not third fiddle because the other club we got to hands, isn't it? Actually, but like if we were third fiddle for them, that wouldn't be great. If third fiddle is even an expression, I don't know. But it just feels to me like at the minute they've put the money, they bought the stadium, they've got the club. It feels like they just want us to tick over at the minute. This is my opinion, that they want us to tick over until they can like put their more concentration on us.
Yeah, I get that.
Well, sorry.
No, I get that, but do you not think, and it's a question to both of you, I suppose, do you not think part it might be they want to see how this, I know it's a flatter structure, but where they brought in like Smith, Cox and all these people, and Kinnear, do you think they maybe want to see how that plays out? And that's part of it, is that they want that to kind of gel, because the reality is such an infrastructure change, you're never going to reap the dividends of it in the first window. It's going to be like, for all the rightful frustrations with Kevin Felwell, when you look at the money we got for Schmitty and some of the other signings we made under him, such as Jake O'Brien and Jai, there are bits now that he'll get credit for in retrospect, and he'll be remembered more fondly than he was probably felt towards at the time. So do you think there might be a bit of that?
One of them didn't come until September either, did he?
No.
That's
right. City one.
Yeah. But was it Smith United that?
Yeah. To that point though, would they have not been sort of chomping at the bit to do stuff in January? Sort of say, we can do this, we can get this player, whatever. Because like you said, Liam, there are good signings you can make in January. I don't buy into this whole, there's no value in January, because there are players there. And
but why have we done anything on the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th of January instead of waiting until 4 days when it's like what we always do, just panic? I think this is the best time in a long time where we can challenge for a European place. With the league being so close, like you say, we're 5 points off 4th. This season I'd go for it.
It's unlikely to be like this again, is it?
No.
Yeah.
No, it's not. But I think as well, it's hard. I think there's a little bit, and this might be Moyes taking a bit of a lead. Is Moyes kind of always wait for dominoes to fall as well, doesn't he? And see like what, and also with the pack schedule, see what's happening, what teams go out to cups, and like who's available and whatnot. There's a knock-on effect, and it is the World Cup year as well, isn't it? And I know it means you have a month less with the player, but actually, if you have someone who comes into January thinking, I'm going to try and force way into a team, then after a few weeks, like, this isn't happening, there might be people they've got in mind. And plus, I think as well, compared to the past regime as well, and this is something we need to consider, under Mashiri, a lot of transfer stuff was leaked early on, because they operate a closed shop. It doesn't mean they're not working. It's just we're not finding out about it, and people aren't charging people for WhatsApps about it and whatnot. So
yeah.
Well, that's me mate AJ, who you see with us at halftime.
Yeah,
he said since the summer, let's go and get Ivan Toney on loan, pay him what he wants. He wants to get in the England squad. Do that as well. What have we got to lose?
Yeah.
If we don't want him in the summer, he goes somewhere else. Just. It's one of them things, isn't it? We've got to take a chance, I suppose. If we actually want to get to where we want to go.
I can see why people will be skeptical about that, but it does make sense on a lot of levels there, because he's like an experienced striker who like Barry could play and stuff from. Not least to take a penalty. Anyway, that's been 18 minutes basically of red hot soccer chat to start Mailbag.
That's a Mailbag record, surely.
It is a Mailbag record. And for a 3-man Mailbag, this is incredible. Before we move on to the nonsense, though, I'm going to say thank you to Chris for my San Jose Earthquake shirt. So Chris was over for the Leeds game. He tied it in with a work trip to London from California. And we went out on a little pub crawl on Sunday, and he gave me this amazing San Jose Earthquake shirt. So that's my MLS team now. And just to remind everyone that if they want some top-notch Toffees gear, as Ian is modelling for the Mailbag audience here, go to forevereverton.co.uk. Rob's a great guy. He does some great designs, and you can get 20% off with the code BlueRoom20, I think. Yeah.
That's the one.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Anyway.
I've had a long day and I'm on my 3rd glass of wine. But anyway, right. So we will go from the sublime soccer chat to the ridiculous from Matt Jones. Someone on a YouTube comment has just called me Manny the Mammoth from Ice Age. Could have been worse, mate. Do any other Blue Room contributors look like cartoons? Have you ever been compared to a cartoon character? I think Dargan said he was Penfold.
I can't imagine wearing a tie though. He wasn't dressed that smart.
No. Next time I see him, I'm definitely going to ask him to say, "Cool, Chief."
Well, with me being an 80s kid like you, Les, and wearing glasses since I was like 18 months old, I've been called Joe 90. I've been called Penfold.
Joe 90, what a shout.
With me surname being Roland, I've had Roland Rat.
Roland
So
Rat.
yeah. I've had quite a few over the years. So yeah. I've had my fair share of cartoon character names.
Mate, you've had it all there, Liam.
Oh, and another one as well. There's obviously, you know what I do in my job, working for Rinken's Tea. When I used to play football in Eshwin with my pals and stuff like that, and on a Sunday morning, my name was Teabag. Yeah.
Was that just a foreshadowing for your?
But that was for me. That was for me tea selling skills, and that's as far as it went.
Fair enough. That's all we need to know. We don't need to know anymore.
That's a totally different show, and Dave's not here.
What happens at Sunday League stays at Sunday League. More of a rugby thing, that though, I think, if I'm honest. Liam?
Do you know what? I really struggle with this, and two come to me from The Simpsons. They're probably not even lookalikes. They just wear glasses, so I apologise. I'm probably going to insult them, but that kind of makes it funny. I'm going to go for Dargan again, the Hans Moleman. And Ed McCaution Millhouse, because Ed's quite a bright chap. So,
definitely.
So apologies, because they're both going to come for me today. I love you both, lads, but I'm sorry for firing shots, but I had to say something for the content.
And to be fair, neither of them came on. They got no right to reply, so whatever, fair game. Yeah. I'm trying to think of anyone else who can rip with a cartoon character. Let's think on this, and we'll come back to it.
Yeah.
But Matt being called Manny the Mammoth, fair enough, I think. Ian, it's your question, but because I've had such a busy day, I've not had time to do the ticker at the bottom for YouTube. That's fine. Have you got your question handy?
I haven't, but I remember I was writing it down. Basically,
go ahead.
With the Winslow closing his doors for the final time, what's your best memories you've had in the pub, pre-match, post-match, whichever pub you drank in before the game?
Liam, go ahead.
I don't really remember them, even though I've got a good memory. They're the best ones, aren't they?
I think, just for me though, first, I think every pre-match for Walter Smith games was an absolute worldie, because we would just be absolutely twatted before we got in the game. Luckily, me and my dad were sat on the end, else we would have been those excuse me boys after got in at 3:10. Excuse me, middle of the row. 20 half an hour later, sorry, excuse me, gotta go for a piss. We would have been those people, but luckily we were on the end. Anyway, Liam, go ahead.
Do you know what I'm going to go for? Just a bit of recency bias. I'm going to go for the whole day, pretty much before and after. We played Sheffield United on the Dyche, because it was the first game we'd had in May, since COVID, where you were frightened out your wits to everyone with a full house. I should say that you're oh my god, this is all going to go wrong. I think I've said about on Good Times, we got a bus back in town. I'm pretty sure I was outside the Denby with you, and we stayed out there all night, and we were singing all sorts of songs. Remember bumping into a Red and said, "Do you want to come to Denby and sing Everton songs?" He just said no. And carried on up Mail Street. So I'm going to go for that, because that was a good day out.
Yeah, that's a hell of a shout, actually. Ian, go ahead.
I've got two. The first one is the victory against Liverpool when we won 2-2. I stayed over that night, and there's a few of us stayed over as well. And we went in the Winslow, and it was just absolutely rammed. And we just celebrated like we actually won. And obviously, with it being the last goal of Goodison, and obviously they didn't beat us on derby victories at Goodison, so it was just a great night. And Liam, you'll be able to tell us this right date. Would it have been 2018 for the Tom Cleverley goal at Newcastle away?
That was December 2015, Boxing Day 2015.
15. I'm thinking of another game. But yeah,
that must have been summer way end.
No ideas.
That looks so good. That was so good on the telly.
We drink in a pub in Newcastle for our away games called the Crow's Nest, so we always go there. Went there, had a few beers to start off with. I think was it Boxing Day? It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So went there, had a few beers, and I remember just lashed down. So we just all sitting there watching the game, and then I think was it Lukaku, Delafeu put Lukaku through, keeper saved it, a quick corner, keeper punched. I think it was Robbie Elliott in goal. Robbie Elliott punched it out. There he is, bang, and we just went absolutely mental, grabbing people behind us. I'm like that, and then going back to the pub afterwards and just singing Tom Cleverly, Tom Cleverly, da da da. Honestly, it was a great night, an absolutely great night. But just for
the most Everton ever goal to
so
concede,
bad.
by the way, I feel like we'd concede that goal
Yeah.
normally. Do like the way it just like loops in and it goes past everyone and like
Well,
it's gone in.
Before we actually got to the pub, these Newcastle fans started throwing like bottles and stones at us on the way down. A couple of our group like chased a couple of lads away, but when we got back to the pub, some like Newcastle fans had my shirt on, come up and shook me hand. He says, "Look, that's not us. Them kids are there every week doing that. They're like the away supporters." It's kind of scary. Like, see, just hear like the bottles and that coming and them throwing stones. Like, Jesus Christ, man.
That sounds rough, that.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of mine now. So pre-match is probably what's the score at the Windy? If no one's ever made it to that, it's a good pre-match.
It's a good pre-match.
We got some red hot soccer stats for you on the game, and so that's good. The pre-match of 2009 FA Cup final was wild as well. So I sorted out like travel and accommodation for about 18 of us to go down. We all stayed in this hotel in Hackney that we're pretty sure was a knocking shop as well. It was one of those gaps. But before the game, we just went out dead early, and we went as we were walking into London. We got to this pub that like all the windows were boarded. I think I've told this before. All the windows were like boarded up, but the pub was open, and it said something about Gentlemen's Club on us. So we were like, what's going on there? So we went in, and it was like I'm sure this pub's been used in films as well. It was just a dead normal looking old like London boozer, which was great, but had like a little stage, and there was a woman walking around topless with a pint pot, taking pound coins for the dancer.
Was it the Flying Scotsman? No questions. But was it called the Flying Scotsman by any chance?
Do you know what? I'll have to check it. It was round Hackney. You could see the gherkin from it.
No comment, but I'm pretty sure you might have gone to the Flying Scotsman.
It could well have been the Flying Scotsman.
Oh, I tell you what,
that's not how I know that, but just
There's one thing I do miss. There's one thing
we just sort of stayed out from then, and it was
nice.
It was a pretty wild day. And the worst thing about it was, me and my dad had one ticket between us because we didn't have season tickets at the time because we had Chow Bar in West Kirby, had our own business, so we couldn't go to the game. We got one ticket in the ballot, and basically we had to decide who got it. I gave it to my dad, and I just went to the pub and got pissed, which I think was probably the right decision.
Well done.
The right decision in the end.
There's one thing I do miss though, Les. A nice hot summer's day in the Bay Garden at the Black Horse.
Yeah, that is a belter. Yeah,
definitely.
One has just come to mind as well. Liam, I'm sorry to pull at this thread, but rematch for the McAllister Derby was fucking incredible. It was unreal. Me and my dad were on the pool table. I think that game in the Pacific.
On the pool table or playing?
On the pool table in the Pacific, getting a chorus of Die Die Nicky Nicky Die going. I think it was that game.
Hey.
I think so yeah, that was a great pre-match that didn't end well. I think for post-match, it's got to be the Denby final 11 game.
Serious, that wasn't it?
At Goodison, it just went on and on and on, and it was incredible. It was genuinely one of the best days ever.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah, we'll have to visit that boozer at some point.
Have you never been to Denby?
Never been to Denby.
Oh, yeah.
Normally, what we do is we just come down Black Horse.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
and then home. So we never normally like go into town or whatever.
Do a stay over. And honestly, do a stay over.
Yeah, we'll do definitely.
If Chelsea doesn't get moved to the to the Tuesday because it's a 5:30, that's probably a good one to do, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh man,
not that I'm planning nights out like 2 months in advance, but I'm deaf about that night.
You're right. Oh yeah, that is a belter. Oh right. We haven't got the hot topic. I've messed up my order here. Right. No, we've got Foxy's question. So he said, with Iraola, Glasner, Silva, it's more red hot soccer chat. And probably Frank out of contract in the summer. Who should TFG be currently tapping up the promise of untold riches and bumper summer transfer shenanigans? A war chest, if you will. Out of them or out of anyone else, who would you have, Liam?
Not Silva. I like Marco as a fella, but if you ever think about, oh, we could have kept him. And I know you said you think he was unlucky in that. Go back to that Norwich City match at Goodison, his last match at Goodison. I know he got battered in the derby, he was unlucky at Leicester. It just, and the defeat against Burnley and Sheffield United, he really unravelled. And I like him as a fella, and I wanted it to work out. In fact, he got probably a month too longer than Koeman did, because people are like, we like this guy, but it just wasn't the right fit. Iraola, he's been a bit up and down in Bournemouth, but I like some of his principles. I think Glasner would be great, but I think it feels like he's on the way. And I know you and I spoke about this before, and I think it's not working out from Tottenham, but I might get pelted this. I don't think Thomas Frank and Everton would be the worst fit in the world. I think because the way he wants to play football.
I agree.
And that, I actually think Spurs want to lose every game 4-3, don't they? That's what they do, Spurs. And whereas he's like, he wants to be functional, he wants to be up and at them, he wants to like be hard working, which, Everton want to play football, but look at the difference with Knight after a couple of tackles and the crowd got up. It makes a difference, I'm not saying I would go for him, but I wouldn't be surprised if out of them he was the next incumbent.
I'd be happy because, like you say, I think he'd be a good progression from Moyes. The last thing we want to do is go someone completely different to Moyes. I know he's basically an interim, but he does know how to manage Everton, and he does a good job of managing Everton. So if you can get someone who can do that and maybe move us on a bit, like Martinez, that was the whole wrong thing because he was completely different. So that first season, we reaped the benefits. Look at Slot at Liverpool, same thing. Completely different manager to Klopp. Reaped the benefits first season, falling apart a bit now. It was the same thing with Martinez. So you can't go too far away from what you've got that's working. No. I think Thomas Frank will be ace, and like you say, may get pelters for that because it could be one of those similarly whereby he's good at a club like Brentford, he goes to a bigger club like Spurs or Everton where the expectation's bigger, and he flaps it. But yeah, I defo think there's something in there. And with Iraola, I think Bournemouth have just been shit enough this season for him to be on our radar. I think if Bournemouth have the season they've had in the past 2 or 3, whatever, and the sort of like mid-table, pushing the top 6 places, 8 places, whatever, he's probably out of reach. The way they've been, and mitigate the circumstance because he lost a lot of players, even Semenyo, like recently. They've lost a lot of players. So, but I do think that form probably turned him off to a lot of other clubs above us. So I think he would be an option. I think he'd be good, I'd say. But would you be happy with any of those, Ian?
I would take Thomas Frank, definitely. You've seen what he's done. You've seen what he's done through the leagues when he was with Brentford. So with the side that we haven't got that many superstars in, really, when you think about it, like the standout superstar, I think he could bring the team on. And if somebody came in, who would you have as his number 2? Would it be an ex-Everton player? Would you keep Baines? Would you keep Coleman, or would you bring somebody? Would you let him bring his own people in, or?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think there's enough about though, isn't there? Do you reckon they will pull the trigger in the summer? Do you reckon that'll be it for Moyes?
I don't. I think it depends on how this how it pans out. I really do think it just depends on that. It's it really does. I wouldn't be surprised. Let's put it that way. I really wouldn't be surprised if they did, but it's hard. I think it'll come down to what candidates are available, because I do think I do think they will. I think they'll wait. I think they'll be patient, because, like you say, a lot of the times invested in Roma. So I don't think they're going to be gung ho, and I don't think as well. Although I think they'll act quick when they make appointments, I don't think they're going to do a Mashiri and just kind of go for someone like Silva where he made his mind up because he liked him. If that makes sense. Yeah, it does. I do agree though. I think that point about Frank's a really good one. That there could be some continuity there. Yeah, and I do think he's going to get bulleted before the season ends. By I think that is going to be it. It's the thing is, and it's not his fault. Spurs is just in a bit of a mess, isn't he?
Yeah.
I'm convinced Heitinger was brought in to replace him. I'm convinced that was a Roy Evans.
Gerard. I mean, that's in his DNA as a fella, isn't it? He's not. He's not.
Yeah,
who he is. Yeah. So,
I mean, I am shit at anything to do with football. It's not Everton, but I have heard of all those 4 managers. Is there anyone outside of that either of you two know that might be good, a good fit?
This might sound mad, and I'm going to sound absolutely crazy to all our listeners, but if he goes, let's get Pep.
Hey, what else is he going to do?
Exactly.
Kendall Mark 4.
Hey, after last night's game,
Yeah.
Mourinho, there's still time.
Oh, that was so good, wasn't it? By the way, lads,
Fucking the ball boy as well, man.
I've just sent to the group the thing I messaged you about. I just sent the photo about the lookalike. Sorry, I know it's off topic, but I want to see your reaction to this lookalike. There's a lookalike for Arnie Slot. Some of the listeners might have seen. He's a viral sensation.
Yeah, once you've seen it, you can't unsee that. And
once you see Arnie Slot in the Hawk 2 girl, you can't unsee it.
You can't. Definitely.
Yeah. So in a weird way, yeah, Arnie Slot looks like the Hawk 2 girl. Wow. There you go. That's what everyone listens to Mailbag for. Right. A bit of less red hot soccer chat now. Question from Dave. With the Everton biased media focusing on Barry's 4 goals in 5 games. Exactly. While conveniently forgetting an absolutely dire first half. Possibly the worst scene at HDS. Dave, I agree. I think that was up there with Newcastle. It was fucking awful.
That was just awful.
Just the fact
that we played well for 5 minutes. Well for 5 minutes.
The same with like Newcastle was 8 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
But Newcastle are a better team than Leeds because Leeds were absolute dog shite, so couldn't score. What is the best example anyway of an Everton silver lining? Ian. Oh, Liam, go ahead.
No, I was just talking.
No, go on. You're right.
I wanted this one thought I've got on that game is you can tell Moyes was spooked because he didn't just go 3 at the back, he went 2 up top. He's basically putting Dye next to Barry, and the fact he did both of them at the same time is not something I thought. When he tried 3 at the back towards the end of his first reign, it was kind of like there was one striker, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There were definitely times where we were playing the 3-5-2 the other night, which was just like took me back to 1999, which is a podcast we'll do soon.
What's your podcast called, Liam?
Just on that, Liam. It was like Dye really wasn't sure there, was he? Because it was like I think he's told me to play in a 2 with you, but no, that can't be true. I can't. This can't be happening.
You know what it is? That was like Mike Bassett when he's telling Allensy, the young lad, you go there. He said, just go and do what you want.
It's like Jimmy Gabriel's team talk against Chelsea. Just go out and enjoy yourselves, lads.
Without the beer.
Yeah.
So any other silver linings in?
The fact that we weren't at least 2 or 3-0 down by half time.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Because like you say, that was up there with Newcastle. You're just sitting there thinking like, what are we doing? How can a team play so well away from home and then 4 or 5 days later play like this?
Yeah, it's crazy. The one that sprung to my mind straight away was getting beat by Norwich. So Clownkeck's got the boot.
That's a good one. I've got another one though.
City
in 2014 losing 3-2. Oh, it was such a shame, wasn't it, to lose at Goodison? Like,
yeah, definitely. Yeah. I actually didn't go to that game because I couldn't be arsed with it. It was like if we win, I'll be pissed off. If we lose, I'll be pissed off. So we just didn't go.
City fans backing out, blowing kisses as they left the away end, saying thank you. They stayed to give us the guard of honour. The lap of honour. And mate, it was so weird because my dad said in the week because we'd obviously blown. I think if we could have gotten the Champions League, I wouldn't have cared about that. If we go into that game, we can win the Champions League. No, I don't care. But I remember my dad said something really precious. I think he said it some good times. He said Del Feo shouldn't be allowed there in that match because he could do something dead mad. And then 3-2 down, he tried to skin 3 or 4 people, and you're like, lad, just someone shouted, lay down in the park end. Fucking lay down.
No, it is. That was some goal by Bartley that game, Wayne, wasn't it?
Oh, honestly, do you know what? I have never shouted dickhead so loudly at the telly when that flew in. I was furious.
As soon as he hit it, you knew, it was like, that's gone.
Oh, God. Yeah, do you know what? That has got to be the ultimate Everton silver lining, hasn't it? It's got to be.
Was that Chris Stanbull season as well?
Yeah. Chris Stanbull was a couple of days later, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't believe it. Anyway, that's something for people who are terminally online like me. Denby, I've asked, what's the most outrageous post you've made on social media, and how many Everton fans did it upset? See, I've not got the three of us. We're not really those type of tweeters, are we? I don't think.
No. My most outrageous one would have been after that 2-2 game in Newcastle when they scored 2 in like injury time, and there's Newcastle fans all over Facebook and Twitter. And I think I put a post out saying the roads leading to Newcastle city centre will be closed because they're having a parade to celebrate their 2-2 draw with Everton. And I just got loads of Newcastle. But no, man, he's a shite.
Do you know what I love there? The way you do a different accent for Newcastle. That was incredible.
Like Bob Morton.
It's like when Vic Reeves does a Geordie accent. It's the same thing.
Well, it was like I said, just like people, and they just had a go at you, and I just took it all in there. You fucking Ghostbusters and stuff like that, and from County Durham, mate.
Oh mate, that must have been horrible. That must have been bad.
Definitely.
Liam.
When I was younger, maybe put some spicy stuff on Facebook, but I'll have to tell you off because it was a bit too spicy. But I'll go with one that was a bit on Twitter. I've got more sense. We'll get older. I did after the COVID derby at Anfield. There was some chat about like Liverpool fans with Everton, aren't we? I can't remember exactly what provoked it, but someone said Calvert-Lewin's a diver or something, and Salah got mentioned. I said he's got some nerve. He goes down easier than Uncle June. So that was one that I put out there. They got a bit of traction.
Quality.
That is a belter. I'm definitely having that one. I think for me, the only one I can think of was like a lot of people, well, relatively speaking, lost it when I tweeted midway through the first half of the Newcastle game that James Garner is not a midfielder. I stand by that assertion at the time. He's since, you know what? He's since proved me wrong.
He has.
And if he can keep up that form, I'm completely wrong. But at that moment in time, I think
you sat at that desk, weren't you, mate? Changed my mind. It's just Les sitting there with his cup of tea.
It was 100% was because he was terrible. And he's been playing better at right back. And I was like, you know what? And I'd said before, I don't think he's got any attributes that will make him a standout midfielder. But he's definitely proved me wrong, which I'm happy about because he's been exceptional. And I do think that's because he's not playing next to Garner Gay.
Yeah, I agree.
The last game against Leeds, he was anonymous when Garner Gay.
I thought he was terrible, Garner Gay.
I just don't think they can play together. I think it's the same old thing with their play. It's essentially a 4-2-3-1, isn't it, at that point? And I don't think they can play in it too. Because Garner Gay covers all that sort of space and he does Garner Gay things, which are great. But James Garner's kind of left like, well, what do I do? But if he's on his own there in a flat 3, he does all that work and then a bit more going forward.
Would you have started him?
Garner Gay, no chance. No. The only change there was then Dyford Grealish for me. That should have been the only change. And like I said on Monday, I do think Harrison Armstrong was hard done by to come off at half time because it kind of lumped him in with Dwight McNeil's shite performance. So
I know this is getting a bit off topic, but would you keep Harrison Armstrong?
Yeah, I would. Well, yeah, I would if he's going to get used, but I'm sceptical he's going to get used now.
Yeah,
I think if Dewsbury Hall's going to play ahead of him, which is fair enough. But I think his game time is going to be limited the same way Tyler Diblin's is, and no good for him. So I'd send him back in that regard.
Do you think Moyes has got money on Preston going up? I'll send him back.
He did say, didn't he? I want Preston to get promoted, so he's going to send him back.
Kev said they should send them Alcaraz. Kev said just send them Alcaraz and we'll keep Armstrong.
Definitely, great shout.
What are your thoughts on that, Liam?
I can't agree more with you, Les. I was thinking about this the other day. I want to keep him. I think he's good enough to be around the squad, but it's whether Moyes got the propensity to use him. And, given how good Roll looked against Villa, and obviously you've still got Irabunum to come back in the picture, who, by the way, like Garner with Tailgate against Newcastle, but has been pretty reliable every time he's been called upon since.
Yeah.
I think Moyes would be disinclined to use him. So as much as I would like to keep him because I like him, if he's not going to use him, I'd rather go be the main man for Preston. I mean, the issue they've got with getting up is that lunatic striker of theirs, where he's not biting people, headbutting people, is being racist to them. So I mean, that guy is just like a full house of bad bastard bingo. He's like, what do you want me? He's spat at someone as well, hasn't he? He's done like, I think the only thing he hasn't done is a 2-footer. It's like every bad trick in the book. Yeah, he's done that.
Liam, I agree with you about Roberto. I thought that he was outstanding against Bournemouth as well. After that terrible game against Newcastle, he ran this. I mean, I know Garner. I think he got man of the match that night, didn't he, Garner? But Roberto ran the show for me that night. Like, really stepped up after the game. How poorly he played against Newcastle.
Yeah.
We'll move on to Ed's question. Ed is getting a lot of shit from his family for agreeing to go to Anfield for a gig. What's the verdict on going to... I assume that's Foo Fighters, which I am also going to. What's the verdict on going to Piss Hill for non-footballing reasons? Are they wrong, or am I? Like, full disclosure, yeah, I've been to Anfield for footballing reasons once when Everton haven't been there, and that was an England game that I got free tickets to. Didn't enjoy it.
Was it against
great?
4-0?
What one? Sorry,
Was it against Paraguay? Was it 4-0?
Oh, I can't remember. I think Joe
in the build-up to 2002 World Cup.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right.
It may have been. It might have been. I can't remember. I was.
You might not be the only person there. I was 15 years of age and won tickets with the school. I'm ashamed, but thankfully the seats were in the away bit of the Anfield Road. So I felt like it wasn't so bad.
Yeah. Well, mine were in the Kemlin, but I've sat there before when Everton played there. So I kind of feel that's all right as well. The 2-1 defeat in '96 when Rush scored 9 seconds after Dave Watson.
Oh,
that was
I was still celebrating.
94.
I was down.
Yeah, I was.
What is? I was down my mate's house that day, and I'm still celebrating Dave Watson scoring. and then Rush's equalised, and my mates are laughing at us. I couldn't believe it.
Mate, me and my
mate
were in the Kemlin about 4 rows back. Dave Watson scores. We jump up, go nuts. We're still celebrating, and every other cunt around us jumps up, celebrating, and we're like, "What's going on there?" And Rush is trotting back to the halfway line with the ball. It's like, do you know what though? Fair play. All we got was a bit of a gentle ribbon and a bit of piss taking. There was no aggro. It was just like
you were a kid then as well. Over like 17, weren't you? So like they probably saw you like kids.
We just got laughed at, which was fine. And fully deserved it. We were gobshites for jumping up, to be honest, and celebrating. So the fact that we never got filled in was a bit of a miracle, really. Anyway, where were we with this? Anyone else going to Foo Fighters at Anfield?
No.
I've genuinely refused to go. So Emma's going with some of our friends, and I've genuinely gone no. And full disclosure, I think Ed's actually going to see My Chemical Romance because there is Mrs. favourite band, which he's a better husband than I am. But what I would say is full disclosure, and I think that this qualifies purely because Charlie Watts has died. Just for the context of when I went to Anfield to watch the Stones, it was Charlie Watts was dead. It was like, I'm never going to get to see these again. These are never doing. And that was why I went. And I'll tell you now, my beautiful long-suffering wife, a lot of listeners will know on both Mailbag and Good Times, Emma, the angel of the north, the best person going. She takes a selfie. She takes a selfie of us every single gig that we go to. And she went to do it there, and there was just a hand on the camera, like, not tonight. And the only post it did was when it was dark, she couldn't see where it was, and it didn't have the location on Instagram. It just said the Rolling Stones, baby. It was the petty of the pettiest.
Well, I'm going to sound controversial.
I get ripped a lot by the lads. And I don't think the lads know when's that anyway. On a stick off me Evertonian mates, which I don't mind because, they know how I am.
If I want to be a real gobshite, I may just make a mask of your face and give it to Emma before that gig and just say, on your mate and take a picture.
That's fine. I'll send you like there was a lookalike on a hen do this gay German fellow who looked to spit at me, and they got a lot of photos with them. I'll send it to you. It's freaky.
I remember we were all on a night out once in town and we went to Shenanigans. And there was a guy in there who looked the spit of Ed McCosh, but he was fucking massive. He was a meathead. So for the whole night, because Ed was there as well, it was Ed and Ed who lifts. It was like, and it's,
Heavy lifts, I like that.
it was the same thing. He was the spit of him, but it was massive. Sorry, Ian, what were you going to say? What's your verdict on this? Or your full disclosure?
First of all, I'm going to sound controversial. I've never been a big fan of the Foo Fighters. I'm not saying they're shite.
I'm not that
I don't mind them. They're good live, but I go there to watch them.
But no, I've never been to Anfield for anything other than football. I did my first visit there was in 2006. I went with my cousin now Andy, who was a Red, and we were in the Cup, and it was for it was to do with Kenny Dalglish's wife cancer charity, and it was the '86 thing.
Yeah,
and they all standing up singing "You'll Never Walk Alone," and I'm sitting there with me fingers in my ears and big flags over us. And it just so happened that I can't remember the name of the scorer that day. It wasn't a big name anyway. And they won in the last minute.
fancy that.
But no, my other time was the FA Cup game when we got beat 2-1 under Allardyce. That was just absolutely mental.
That is to this day the best away end I've ever been in. When Redacted scored, it was genuine carnage, wasn't it? Yeah.
Remember the song? Remember the song that we were singing? Show us your iPad, you tourist. See you next Tuesday.
Yeah. There was a cop out just nodding. I was sat at the very end of the Anfield Road. And there was this fella in the big stand, and he was just looking at me as Scousefake. He just went, he just nodding. There was all like these people half an hour around him. And he just looked at me and going, we made eye contact. Like, dead respectfully, just went, I know. I could see he was like, he was a bit. I felt a little bit for him. Do you know what I mean? Like he's a proper fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Shows Your iPad was a belter song. Yeah. Again, I've said this before, but I think Joe was, I want to say about 9 at that point, and he was stood in between me and my dad on the seat. His bodies were flying everywhere. That sounds like an exaggeration, by the way. The bodies were flying everywhere.
It wasn't.
Bodies were literally flying everywhere, and he was stood. I just remember looking at him, and he looked like made up but terrified at the same time, because it was like, we've just scored the equaliser, but then what the fuck is all this?
I didn't lose my glasses that night. I don't. How they stayed on my head that night, I don't know. I've got people on my back. I'm holding on to somebody's head, like caught at the front, and honestly, it's just mental.
So my only 3 times at Anfield to see Everton, I've been that Ian Rush one that I spoke about before, that one where it obviously all came up Millhouse for them, and fucking Curtis Jones one where I'm sat on the front row of the Annie Road.
That was well.
Yeah. So do you know what? I possibly need this Foo Fighters gig just to exercise some demons, basically, and like be not like totally terrified of the place, like going. To
and they get the best of you.
You know what? Yeah. Desperately trying to think of a Foo Fighters pun and failing here, so I'll move on. Chris has asked, where do you do your big shop? Do you do the big shop, Liam?
Not so much. I'm going to sound proper vote Labour Live Tory here. We tend to use Amazon Fresh quite a bit now because we're so busy with work and stuff. Even though we have a little down the road, but it's not great. And there's a Sainsbury's and an Aldi by us, and then they're all right for bits. But quite often, like if there's ever an offer on Gusto or Hello Fresh, we tend to use that. But a lot of the time at the moment, we've both been busy with work and stuff, and obviously I do good times and that got a lot going on. Some days you'll just go, we need bits in, and you end up doing Amazon Fresh. And some of it is a bit more expensive, but like yesterday I did it, and we got like a whole chicken in the bag with stuff and to cook in, and it was like $3.95, I think it was, a full chicken. And Emma's been cooking. I'm having chicken and stuffing sandwiches tomorrow. It's got the stuffing in the chicken. So I'm having chicken, stuffing, and jalapeno sandwiches for lunch tomorrow while I'm away from home.
Oh, yeah, bang into that.
Bon appetit.
Ian, that sounds so much better in your accent than any other accent. Where, Ian, do you do the big shop? If so, where? If not, why?
Well, we don't do a big shop. We go to Asda a couple of times a week because normally on a Monday or a Thursday we'll have jack potatoes, so we've got to go and just judge the bags of salad for like what dates they've got to keep it nice and fresh. So like I said, my lad he likes keeping fit and stuff like that, goes to gym, so we have to go to different shops to get him protein meals. And so yeah, we go, I would say we go Sunday, Tuesday, maybe it's a Thursday, Just like you say, just for salad and things like that, because we like our jacket potatoes. Lou has cottage cheese. I have beans and sausages. I am a child. I love me beans and sausages.
Those sausages and the beans and sausage are the best sausages anyway.
Thing is, as well, I don't go down the road of Tory Hines. I'm your Branston.
You look like a Branston man.
I am a Branston man. I would. Heinz is too sweet. The tomato sauce.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Heinz ketchup is like that. I don't like beans, but ketchup's too sweet, isn't it? It's nice, when you get a supermarket one, it's that little bit less sweet in it.
Yeah, that is a shout. Yeah, we're the same. We probably go to the shop probably 5 times a week because we're so disorganized. Really, it's just got anything in for tea? No, who's in for tea? All the kids. Shit, right? Better go to the shop, haven't we? Yeah,
that's us with Amazon. We got no kid.
Yeah, we're great. It would be great to be dead organized. Just get a big shopping, sort your meals for the week. But yeah, just
you heard me rant the other week on Mailbag about people.
Oh yeah,
for the mobile phones and stuff like that, or
stories
where they shouldn't be. So
yeah, I get that. And plus, you end up having a chippy tea anyway after a big shop. It's I've bought all that, and I can't be asked cooking now, so let's go to chippy anyway.
Yeah, there is that as well, isn't there? And if you go shopping when you're starving as well, you will just buy all kinds of shite that you don't need.
It was the other week as well. I said, Louise, I got in from work, and she says, "Oh, we'll have to go to Asda." I said, "Do you fancy chippy?" She says, "I go on, then I." So there's a chippy just about half a mile down the road. So
you know what? You're 30 quid out of pocket, but it was worth it not to go to Asda.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's the one. Also Sainsbury's, by the way, because Jay works there, so we get a discount. Oh God, Dave's question. Right. I'll go on to Dave's explanation after this, but he's asked, where is the strangest place you've relieved yourself? Now, Gary said, relieved yourself. Dave, not being funny. This could be taken in any context. So it could be with Dave. Anything goes. But we're going to say taking a leak. Relieving yourself means taking a leak in this context, which I'm hoping, given Dave's description, that's also what you meant by it.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping he meant by it as well.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
he did. I think he went on to explain, didn't he? He got nicked outside the leather shop for having a piss inside the station.
Yeah, he has sold this story on Mailbag. So I'll go into Dave's now. New Year's Eve in town one time, 10 to 12, as we were chocker, and he badly needs a piss. It's all that milk, Ian, isn't it? It's those pints of milk.
Without a doubt, yeah.
He had one outside the Disney shop, the old one opposite Burger King by Central. Got arrested, £80 fine from the fuzz. So yeah, it was. Weirdest place anyone's taken a burst?
Well, we're talking probably around 1995, and I'd gone out with a few of my pals. We're getting a bus from Ushermill, which is a little village just outside of Durham, to Durham, to go up to a place called Concert, which is so cold. It's freezing in June. Honestly, it's that bad. One of the lasses in our group, Lauren, she lives there, and she's always saying it's cold. But anyway, getting the bus, and I'm absolutely dying for a week. I when you get that pain in your stomach, proper dying for a week. So I says to the bus driver, I says, "Mate, you're gonna have to stop the bus while I have a wee in this bus stand." So he did, and I'm thinking, please don't pull away. I'm in the middle of nowhere on the way to the concert. Anyway, waited for us so I'd have a piss in the bus stand and jump back on the bus. I was like that. Oh my God. So yeah, that's mine. Having a piss in a bus stand while the bus driver's standing there with the doors open, waiting to finish to get back on.
Fair enough. Good effort. Definitely good effort. Thing is, though, when you got to go, you got to. Nothing quite like the relief. Liam?
More of a object in, well, it's not that way, but object in the place. When we played United in 2016, Wembley, long was it back, we had a different coach driver on the way back, and he wasn't happy that people were drunk. I'm really not sure why he got into that game then, to be honest with you. I know it's really evil, isn't it? But, it's surely football coach driving's the wrong game for you. I kicked off, basically. I cashed in. He was only stopping once. We stopped at Watford Gap because I kicked off that much. I was because the toilet was locked from the inside. He's it's all your fault.
That's 20 minutes from Wembley, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, mate. But so we could fix the toilet because the toilet was locked. And yeah, people were falling asleep, but I hadn't been that bad before the match because I was in Club Wembley for a work thing and then kind of cracked on afterwards. And basically, I had to stand outside the toilet down the steps with an Oasis bottle because I can't hold on to Watford Gaff because we were in the coach car park for a good 2 hours. Do you know what I mean? And I was just like, I've got to go. and someone just thankfully had like an Oasis bottle. I was like, it was one of the big ones. Like, thankfully, like,
Yeah.
I don't know that. I was like, you're gonna have to give me that. Sorry. But I was like, make sure no one gets the wrong idea and thinks that's Oasis.
Well, Liam, when things like that happen, you've got to roll with it.
Yeah, and to be fair to him, the fella went and fixed it, but I'm surprised there wasn't more of uproar that I'd kind of cashed in. We'll cover it, being Kevin cover on good times. My cashed in our stop, like pretty early doors.
Yeah, mine's similar. It's surprising how quickly those bottles fill up as well. By the way, it's terrifying. So mine is Chester Uni had just beaten Brunel University 1-0 in the worst game of football ever down at Brunel Uni, which is out by Reading. So on the way back, so from their student union, we nicked a kettle and a microwave oven because obviously, so that was on the coach. We had a big, massive, like 40-odd seater coach between about 15 of us. So we're all bladdered on the coach. The toilets, there's no toilets on the coach, which was a bad idea for a load of students going to a footy match. So basically, there was a selection of 2-litre bottles at the back of the coach. So yeah, I basically tried to pee in a 2-litre Fanta bottle. Missed half of it, but like
everywhere.
It still filled up really quickly, like worryingly quickly. But yeah, that's probably mine as well.
Can I tell you another quick story about William?
Go for it, mate.
I thought you said about Liam. Then I was going to say, what? What have I done now?
Do you know what? I told you that I hurt my arm back in 2003.
Yeah.
Well, I was in hospital from the night I did it till the fall. I did it on a Tuesday, and I came out the following Monday after my operation. So middle of the night, needed a wee. Obviously, you've got your cardboard thingy to wee in, haven't you? So obviously, with my arm being bad, I've got to try and push myself up, have a wee in this thing, and I put it back down again. And I thought, oh Christ, I haven't been there. Oh, I had. So I just went to have another wee, and I tipped piss all over myself. So I'm ringing the red buzzer on the wall. So this one's like, oh, Ian, you're right. And I was like that. No, I've just tipped piss all over myself. So she had to get me covers off the thingy. I had to try and take my shorts off, and like, so this is like 3 a.m, waking up needing a wee, and thought I had one, I hadn't, and then just tipped it on myself.
Are you all right? No, it's 3 a.m. I've got a broken arm and I'm covered in piss. I'm definitely not all right. Also, Ian, apart from your role with the gag there, we really did miss out a lot on Liam and an Oasis bottle there, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah.
We probably should have made more of that. Anyway.
Let's not go back in anger.
Rob said, on the way to a party at the police club at the cop shop in Canning Dock. Long walk from town, couldn't work out the way, so had to have a piss at the front of the station. When we did find the way in, the officers on the desk said, we saw you on the CCTV.
Mm-hmm.
Good job we never got fined there, really. But yeah, there we go. So that was Rob's. I think he said that might have been after the 95 Cup final, or that might have been in response to something else. Anyway, weirdly, we're going to finish on the hot topic this week, which is what is, and amazingly between 3 of us, we've done 1 hour and 3. What's the most impressive landmark you've been to? Anybody know what this question's about? Why it's the hot topic? No. It's because I found the dice wall in London last night.
So you did, yes.
You did?
Yeah, as anyone who's on the Instagram or in our group will know, I was genuinely, I was walking around Soho looking for something to eat because we're down there for work. And I just walked past, I think there's like a Korean shop just by it. So I just walked past and just walked past it, sort of the double take, backtracked, and was like, it's just a green wall right the way down.
Yeah.
That's definitely the dice wall. And it's like, it looks like there's quite a fancy bar or a hotel at the other end of it. Mm-hmm. So I walked down and I got the picture up and looked in the windows there, and it was definitely the dice wall. So, I mean, it's not the most famous landmark I've been to, but as finding one goes, I was well impressed with that, because the alleyway it's in, it's probably only about 5 foot wide. It's like you can like just walk past and miss it. Felt like destiny to me, like utter woke nonsense. Anyway, Ian, landmark.
Yes, I'm so pleased you said walking around Soho looking for something to eat and didn't.
Well, okay, so just to add to that, it's Louise's birthday on Saturday.
Happy birthday, Louise.
So I had actually been round London buying clothes for her for her birthday. So I was walking around with 2 bags of women's clothes in Soho and walked down a little alley. What could possibly go wrong? Who knows? But anyway, Ian, go ahead.
The best landmark I've been to, and it's just down the road from us, and it's Durham Cathedral. It's an amazing place. I went there with the school. We were like doing a school project there, and it was just like a laugh with my pals and stuff like that. It was part of we like GCSE marks for history, and he said, if you take any leaflets from here and we find out you've been copying them, you'll lose marks. But I'd just been pissing about with my mates, and so basically I just copied most of the leaflets out and didn't get a great mark. But since then I've been, and it's really, really an amazing place. The Palace Green as well, just outside of it as well. It really is. It's just Durham. It's basically Durham City is the cathedral.
Yeah, need to get up there. Never been there.
Oh man, honestly, you'll love it.
Yeah, cracking. Lee?
Bit of recency bias, but you probably remember you might not remember. Last year I was lucky enough to go to Canada, and we went to Niagara Falls, and it's absolutely breathtaking. It was weird. So we were in Toronto, it was like 5 degrees. By the time we got to Niagara, it was 21 degrees, and it was just stunning. And we were we had in a restaurant facing out on the falls, which wasn't great, but because of where you were, it was like, I don't mind paying top dollar for bang average food because this is unbelievable. Yeah. And we sat on this bench with a soft drink, me and Emma, and the sun was shining, and it was gorgeous. And it shows how different we think. She was like, how amazing is this? And then I was like, there was like a thing, like a handrail and steps in between us. And I was like, do you reckon I can get a good time sticker on that and get a photo from Niagara Falls? And she was like, Liam, we're at Niagara Falls, like one of the most stunning places on earth. And you're like, shall I get a good time sticker? Yeah. So I took your counsel and I didn't do it. There are other places in Canada that have those stickers, but that's not one of them. And it was amazing. Oh, a big shout out as well, which was mad. If you ever been to the 9/11 memorial, that's quite moving. Although I didn't understand why people are taking selfies doing that with it. It's like, really, like,
yeah, you see people doing that like Auschwitz as well. It's like not really the time or place.
I went to that, and that is, I would implore anyone to, honestly, not implore anyone to go to Auschwitz. As horrendous it is, if you're there, you can't forget. But I went, and there was just this girl who spent the entire time with her phone above her head, just live streaming, being there. It's like, wow.
That's just mad. Wow. That's just wrong. Wow. She might, she might as well have gone and tried them glasses on where they're all in a pile.
Yeah, it's horrendous because like it's it's really serious, and like I say, it wasn't a nice experience, but dead serious. Yeah, what happened? You've got to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It is something I do want to do because it's just like it feels like you kind of got it. And it's something everyone should see and experience, just to be like the whole never again kind of thing about it.
Oh, it's horrendous. It's the worst thing I've ever done. It was good, like, from Mentia, but it's tough. It's really tough.
Yeah, it must be so upsetting.
They should say before you go into places like that, like, no cameras. You just go in. Well, there's going in and stuff.
They want people to share the message, though, don't they? And the thing I took away from it, God, Mailbags took a turn, hasn't it? Happy Friday, guys. But, like, there's no like wildlife around it, because of what's happened. There's no like the bears and squirrels.
Like,
I think because they can sense like what's going on there. It's really. The thing is, like, that part of Poland is a gorgeous part of the world. Krakow's a fantastic city. So if you go to Krakow, I'd recommend you go to it, even though it is horrible because you need to learn. But plan yourself something nice in the evening afterwards. You need a bit of a pick me up after it.
Hey, back to Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls. Is it one of those places where you can't quite get the scale of it? Like, can't quite get your head around the scale of it? Kind of thing. Is it one of them where it's like it's so get there?
It's unbelievable. We wanted to stay on the Niagara Lake, but we couldn't make it work logistically. And we were actually in Toronto, and we thought we weren't going to get a chance to get there, but we knew a friend of a friend lives in Toronto, and we met her for some drinks and food, and she went, "You've got to go." So we just went, "Okay, we'll go." And I'm so glad we did it. And if you ever get a chance to stay in the city nearby Niagara Lake, because it's just, like you say, it is so. I mean, we went in March time, so you couldn't get the boat tour and that, but it's still like enough I've seen, and you get to go down underneath it. And there was a woman complaining about a kid slipping. And I did nearly turn around and kick off and go, "This is a waterfall." Like, What do you expect? You are literally under a waterfall. You're kicking off at the staff big time. I was like, come on, what do you expect? But yeah, I'd recommend that. Beautiful, amazing place. The weather's okay. Genuinely stunning.
But take care because there's no yellow A-frames to tell you to watch out. It's slippy. Yeah.
Well, no, I think because the woman got the stroller to offer as well, and then she was kicking off. She complained about it in the lift to us as well when we were like trying to have a nice time, and then she went up to complain to the manager, and the manager was the person who'd actually told her she couldn't use the stroller in the first place, so that went down well.
they'll probably be wearing Crocs as well or something like that, won't they?
Yeah, Crocs, but like not in sport mode, just slip-ons. Yeah, asking for trouble. I think aside from the dice wall for me, it's probably Sydney Harbour, because just like nice. Being at the Opera House or on the bridge, just like seeing both of them together, it's proper postcard stuff. It's amazing. So we'll finish off. We've got some here. Denby said Fran went to the actual Denby Castle once.
Love that.
And check out the Twitter because there's a brilliant picture of Franny at the Denby Castle. David, most impressive landmark, Grand Central Station. One I was a bit underwhelmed by, Statue of Liberty, much smaller, especially in the crown. But yeah, that's not good. Eiffel Tower's a bit like that. Eiffel Tower's a bit shite, really.
Did you go up it? We went to it, but we didn't go up it.
Yeah, we went up it and it was crap. Yeah, it was dead busy. It was big queue to get up, big queue to get back down. It's probably best seen from the other side of the river. That's where it looks best.
I loved it. When you go on the Seine on an evening, we went like a boat tour on the night and it lit up and we didn't know what was going on. It was like, wow, that's impressive.
We were having a meal and we knew it lit up.
Yeah.
And we knew we had about 10 minutes to get down to the waterfront and see it. So we must have legged it about 500 yards from this restaurant right downhill to the river. And I've got like pictures of Louise just posing on the wall with like the lights going off everywhere. But it does look spectacular, doesn't it?
We've missed the best landmark around, haven't we? And that's the Rupert Tower.
Prince Rupert, yeah. Do you know what? Not being funny, but that is a really good landmark to visit. Because when you actually see it, it's like it's been there so long and it's in such a weird place as well now. It's like the park's dead odd, isn't it? But yeah, anyone who's not been there, I would definitely go and see. I think my dad took me when I was about 8 or 9, and it blew me mind.
I don't think I've ever been, which is unbelievable for me. But I don't think I've actually ever been to it.
You need to go. It's
getting corrected very soon. It's getting corrected soon.
You got a great view over to the Oblong as well from Everton Brow there. It's good. Nice. Ed said, I'm going to butcher this. Chichen Itza, very cool, yet ridiculously hot. That's one of those Mexican pyramids, I think. Just brushed that off as a Mexican pyramid, but whatever.
Are we signing him?
What's that?
Can he play left back?
Yeah. Dave P said, El Capitan and Half Dome at Yosemite National Park. Foxy, I asked Foxy what this meant in the group. If anyone can enlighten me, please do tell me. Unashamedly, HSC. Don't they sell couches? I can't
this
wait.
This is going to be someone really obvious and we're all going to look really stupid that we've not known.
They do stair lifts.
Uncultured swine, aren't we?
That's what it is, HSC.
Did he go there in installments?
Hey.
John said Table Mountain. Dan, wow, been lucky enough to have been to all new 7 wonders of the world. Machu Picchu in Peru was first in 08 and still favourites. I also got dragged into the most random arguments ever with a Dutch bloke. Here we go. In the bar there over Andy van der Meijden. He didn't like me calling him VDM, a pisshead. I mean, you could have called VDM worse than a pisshead. But yeah. And Gary Bridges said, Ellis Island, 40%. We're going to end Mailbag on a red hot stat. 40% of USA citizens are descendants of someone who was processed in that building. There you go. Can't work out whether that is a good or bad argument for immigration, but we'll leave that hanging in the ether. That has been it for this week's Mailbag. End on a bit of politics. Why not? Thanks to Ian. And we've done, between 3 of us, 1 hour 14. So I'm sorry, lads, if you had to get to bed, but it's been a
short by my standards, mate. I'm used to good times. This is
like half a day shift for you, isn't it, Liam? No, I appreciate that, lads.
Plus, if I go to bed at 10:30, it's better than 3 o'clock in the early hours of last Tuesday morning. Thanks again, Everton.
There is that as well, yeah. Yeah, you know what? At least you've had a laugh through Mailbag. I'm not watching Everton score at least. So, yeah, thanks to Ian. Thanks to Liam. As ever, thanks to everyone who sent questions in. That's it for this week. We will catch you next time on Mailbag.